A Life in Colour, The Art of Doris Hatt. Artist, socialist, feminist, activist. Doris Hatt followed her own path. She was a woman ahead of her time. Doris was born in Bath in 1890, the child of an affluent and well-known family. While at finishing school aged 16, Doris was captivated by the art gallery at Kassel in Germany. She pursued her passion for art, studying in Bath, London, and Vienna. Her paintings were first exhibited in 1918 at the Grosvenor Gallery in London. Early influences included English landscape painters such as Paul and John Nash. But Doris also moved with the times. She was greatly influenced by her experience of Paris and artists such as Cézanne and Picasso. Her style developed as she absorbed the major themes of the 20th century, including Cubism, Purism, and Abstraction. Doris would often return to a scene over many years and respond to it with varying degrees of abstraction. One of Doris's proudest achievements was the building of Littlemead in Clevedon, an Art Deco Bauhaus-style house completed in 1939. She lived there with her lifelong partner, Margery Smith, a textile artist and teacher. The First World War strongly influenced Doris's politics. By the early 1920s, she was a committed socialist and part of the New Woman and women's suffrage movements. In 1935, she joined the Communist Party and later visited the Soviet Union with Margery. Littlemead became a meeting place for like-minded people. Margery and Doris would host Sunday afternoon discussion groups attended by left-wing progressives. In 1946 and 47, Doris stood as a Communist Party candidate in elections for Clevedon Council. But she didn't win the seat. Doris and Margery travelled widely in southwest England and in Europe, seeking artistic inspiration. And for almost 5 decades, Doris's work featured in many exhibitions. In later years, she and Margery spent much of their time in Watchet, where Margery had inherited a house. But whether in Watchet or Clevedon, Doris continued to work tirelessly until the end of her life. She died in 1969 at the age of 79. Doris Hatt has for too long been overlooked and underappreciated. 50 years after her death, we can understand more fully the achievements of a remarkable woman. Her brave life and radical beliefs were shaped in a world scarred by war and inequality. Her colour-filled art responded vividly to some of the most progressive art of continental Europe. In the context of British art and life in the early 20th century, she emerges for us now as a pioneer and an inspiration. A Life in Colour, The Art of Doris Hatt.